27 fights, 27 wins, 27 knockouts. No decisions, no mercy, no escape. In a sport where perfection is almost impossible, one man didn't just chase it, he lived it. But this isn't just a story about dominance, it's about destruction, inside and outside the ring. This is the full story of Edwin Valero, from the mountains of Venezuela to a tragic end that shocked the world. Edwin Valero was born on December 3, 1981, in Mérida, Venezuela. Far from the spotlight of global boxing, Valero grew up in a place where opportunities were limited. Like many fighters, he didn't start boxing for fame. He started because it was a way out. From a young age, he showed something different. Not just talent, but intensity. He didn't want to outscore opponents. He wanted to stop them. As an amateur, Valero built a strong record, reportedly winning over 80 fights. But even then, his style stood out. Relentless pressure, non-stop aggression, constant forward movement. Coaches saw the potential, but they also saw the danger, because fighters who fight like that don't usually last long. In 2001, everything nearly ended before it began. Valero was involved in a serious motorcycle accident, a fractured skull, a traumatic brain injury. Doctors warned him not to fight again. Scans showed serious risks, but Valero refused to stop. He returned to boxing, but many believe he was never the same again. In 2002, Valero turned professional, and immediately he made history. First fight, knockout. Second fight, knockout. Third fight, knockout. It kept going. Valero set a record, 18 consecutive first-round knockouts. Not decisions, not late finishes, immediate destruction. From the opening bell, he attacked like a man with nothing to lose. Valero didn't fight like a traditional boxer. He wasn't calculated like Floyd Mayweather Jr. He was chaos. He rushed forward, throwing punches in unpredictable combinations. Hooks, uppercuts, overhands. He didn't care about defense. He cared about damage. And once he hurt you, there was no coming back. Despite his dominance, Valero faced a major obstacle. Because of his brain injury, he was denied a license to fight in the United States. No Las Vegas. No major pay-per-view fights. While fighters like Manny Pacquiao became global stars, Valero remained in the shadows, fighting in Japan, Venezuela, and smaller venues. But those who understood boxing knew exactly how dangerous he was. August 5, 2006. Valero faced Vicente Mosquera for the WBA super featherweight title. This was different. Mosquera was a real champion, experienced, durable, dangerous. And for the first time, Valero faced adversity. Early in the fight, he was dropped, hurt badly. It shocked everyone. But what happened next defined him. Instead of backing up, he attacked harder. Round after round, he broke Mosquera down. Body shots, relentless combinations, unstoppable pressure. By the 10th round, Mosquera couldn't take it anymore. TKO. And just like that, Edwin Valero became world champion. Valero didn't change after becoming champion. He didn't become safer, he became more dangerous. He defended his title against fighters like Takehiro Shimada. Same result, knockout. Every fight ended violently, no exceptions. Eventually, Valero moved up to lightweight, bigger fighters, stronger opponents. But the question remained, would his power carry over? February 6, 2010. Valero faced Antonio DeMarco for the WBC lightweight title. DeMarco was skilled, technical, disciplined, but styles make fights. And Valero's style was pressure. From the opening bell, he cut off the ring, ignored distance, forced exchanges. As the fight went on, DeMarco began to break down. The pressure was too much. By the 9th round, his corner stopped the fight. TKO. 2 divisions. Still undefeated. Still 100% knockouts. Valero's last fight came against Hector Velasquez, a tough veteran. But it didn't matter. Valero overwhelmed him, stopped him in the 7th round. Another knockout. His record, 27-0. 27 knockouts. Perfect. At this point, fans began asking, what if he fought the best? What if he faced Manny Pacquiao, Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez? Would his pressure overwhelm them? Or would his lack of defense cost him? We'll never know. While his career looked unstoppable, his personal life was collapsing. Reports surfaced, substance abuse, alcohol problems, violence.
He was arrested multiple times. Domestic issues, unstable behavior. The aggression that made him great was now destroying him. April 2010. Everything ended. Valero was arrested after the death of his wife, Jennifer Vieira. The news shocked the world. A champion, now at the center of a horrifying crime. Then, just one day later, while in custody, Edwin Valero took his own life. He was 28 years old. Edwin Valero remains one of the most unique figures in boxing history. A perfect record, a knockout ratio rarely seen. A fighter who could have been a global superstar. But instead, his story became a warning. Edwin Valero was more than a boxer. He was a storm. Unstoppable in the ring, uncontrollable outside of it. A perfect record, with a tragic ending. And a question that will never be answered. What if?
But maybe that question doesn't go far enough. Because it's not just what if he fought the best, it's what if he had control? What if the same intensity that made him dangerous had been guided instead of unleashed? Because when you study Edwin Valero closely, you start to see something deeper than knockouts. You see patterns. The way he cut distance without setting traps. The way he squared his stance just to throw power. The way he accepted getting hit just to land harder. Technically, he broke rules, fundamental rules of boxing, and yet he made them work. That's what made him so difficult to analyze. Against most elite fighters, those mistakes get exposed, but against everyone he faced, they didn't get the chance. Because Valero didn't give opponents time to think. And in boxing, thinking is everything. When a fighter forces you into survival mode, skill starts to fade. And that's exactly what Valero did. He turned fights into chaos and then thrived inside it. Some fighters control pace, others control distance. Valero controlled fear. And once fear takes over, even great fighters become vulnerable. That's why his fights didn't look competitive. They looked inevitable. But here's the reality. There's a ceiling to that style. History has shown it. Pressure without defense eventually meets precision. Aggression without control eventually meets timing. And when that happens, everything changes. Would Valero have adapted, or would he have doubled down? That's the mystery. Because we never saw him forced to evolve. We never saw him in a fight where he had to box instead of brawl. We never saw him lose rounds consistently. We never saw him behind on scorecards. We never saw a version of Edwin Valero that had to think. And that's what makes his legacy so complex. On paper, perfect. In reality, incomplete. Not because of what he lacked in the ring, but because of what was happening outside of it. Because while fans were watching knockouts, something else was building. Something much more dangerous. And unlike boxing, there were no rules to contain it. No referee to step in. No bell to save him. Just reality. And reality doesn't end with a decision. Thanks for watching. One fight ends, another one is already on the way. Follow Gloves and Blood and stay ready.